Action man and Hollywood legend Arnold Schwarzenegger has this quote in which he says, "Strength does not come from winning. Your struggles develop your strengths. When you go through hardships and decide not to surrender, that is strength." In a time of complete crisis, a doomsday scenario for instance, Sigma males epitomise this approach to life. They persevere and overcome all of the challenges they face in their daily life with strength, balance, and focus, and are some of the most well-prepared minds out there should a doomsday scenario ever come to pass. We'd probably all like to believe that if a major crisis event of doomsday proportions were to happen, that we'd be among the survivors who would manage to persevere onwards. But the reality is, if you look at a doomsday event like a zombie apocalypse, there are always more zombies than survivors. And the majority of people are going to end up as one of the zombies, not one of the survivors. Otherwise, it wouldn't be a doomsday. But what exactly is it that separates Sigma males from the average person and makes them so uniquely suited to surviving a doomsday scenario? The answer is multi-layered, but speaks to the complex and unusual traits that Sigmas possess in their day-to-day lives. In this episode of Notes from a Sigma Male, I want to take a look at these traits and take a look at how Sigma males behave in their day-to-day lives and how this behavior perfectly transfers into an apocalyptic doomsday scenario. Sigmas are prepared for the unexpected. By failing to prepare, you prepare to fail. One of the factors that will most surely separate those who survive a doomsday scenario versus those who will fall prey, aside from sheer luck of course, is preparation. Now, some people take this to the extreme and live their day-to-day lives as doomsday preppers. You know the type, stockpiles of weapons and pantries full of canned goods that are enough to last years, but this is preparation to the extreme. The kind of preparation that will see Sigma males survive the apocalypse is more related to his attitude as opposed to physically preparing or stockpiling. The thing is, Sigma males possess an attitude towards life that is naturally prepared for the unexpected. They are incredibly open-minded and don't look at the world with closed horizons. They understand that everything is possible and that it would be foolish to rule out any eventuality in life. Sigmas do make plans, sure, but they're also not thrown off if life ends up not going to plan. If a doomsday situation were to occur, many people would be so thrown off by the shock that they would truly be unable to cope. But Sigmas, however, have been living in a state of preparation for the unexpected all throughout their lives, and so if or when crisis does eventually hit, they are able to take it in their stride. And this brings us to another Sigma male trait that becomes invaluable when things hit the fan. Keeping a cool head, even in a crisis. Sigmas are by nature stoic. Stoic philosophy dates back to ancient Greece, where thinkers such as Zeno of Citium, Epictetus, and Seneca developed a code for living a virtuous life through logic and self-control. At the core of Stoic philosophy is the notion of the locus of control. Now, this refers to focusing on that which lies within our control as opposed to that which lies outside of our control. Now, Stoic philosophy teaches that the development of self-control and mental fortitude is the best means for overcoming negative or destructive emotions and thought patterns. And the Sigma male approach to life is highly Stoic. Sigmas are analytical thinkers who use logic and reason to process everything around them, even their own emotional states and interpersonal relationships. Instead of giving in to emotional response, they process everything that happens to them using this calm, reason-based approach. As you can imagine, this Sigma trait comes in particularly handy in a crisis situation. In fact, in daily life, Sigma males give off an aura of being cool, calm, and collected that reassures the people around them. Whether it be at home or in the workplace, Sigmas are often the go-to guy when a crisis situation arises. People look to Sigmas as rocks in times of great challenge, as they're able to keep their cool and rationalize the best way out of a problem. Even in a Doomsday type scenario, it's unlikely that you'd catch a Sigma male freaking out and panicking. He's going to keep that same cool, stoic head on his shoulders and focus on the locus of control, taking action over the factors of his situation that lie within his control. Sigmas know that losing time and energy fretting over the elements outside of their control is only going to lower the chances of their survival. Already prepared to be alone. Sigmas are called the lone wolves of society for a reason. Their highly independent lifestyle means that they often spend great deals of time alone, and in truth, their favorite company is that of themselves. Now, this is not to say that Sigmas cannot have deep and meaningful friendships with others. Of course they can. It's just that Sigmas are deeply in touch with themselves and know that the most important person to get along with in life is yourself. And what's more, Sigmas are highly reflective people, and this contributes to them spending quite a significant amount of time by themselves. They feel a strong need to take time aside from the goings-on of daily life in order to take a step back and reflect on their experiences, their actions, and their goals moving forward. Pretty much all the Sigma males I've encountered throughout my years have been prone to being reclusive. It's usually true that they have a low social battery, which sees them needing a lot of time by themselves in order to recharge. Now, in a Doomsday scenario, it's likely that one is going to have to get used to being by themselves a lot. The creature comforts of society are highly unlikely to be available once a total crisis hits. And if such a scenario did occur, Sigmas would already be well versed in the art of spending time by themselves and would likely thrive on their ability to rely on themselves, as opposed to the anxiety that such isolation would create in the average person. Sigmas know that they need to spend time by themselves in order to master their self-control, and in a Doomsday scenario, this ability would fuel their survival. Resourcefulness and adaptability. If a Doomsday scenario were to hit, perhaps the most critical factor for surviving is going to be a person's resourcefulness and their adaptability. With all access to the things that we're used to for our survival most likely being taken away from us, only those who can make the most of what they have around them are going to make it through. Now, Sigmas are naturally intelligent people and possess a strong capability for problem solving. Their way of thinking is highly thorough, and they love nothing more than challenging themselves. When confronted with a problem, Sigmas love to pick it apart and inspect it from every angle, and this analytical way of thinking allows them to spot solutions that others might easily overlook. In a crisis situation, this ability to think critically makes Sigma males highly ingenuitive, and they can often dig themselves out of a sticky situation in ways that the average person might never even think of. What's more, Sigmas like to hone their skill sets to a high degree and are never satisfied until they have given something their all. And this means that in the event of disaster striking, they are likely to already possess a range of skills that they can then repurpose, if you like, in order to aid their survival. Now, before we continue, please do take a quick second to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. It takes just a couple of seconds, but it really goes a long way in helping me to grow and sustain the channel, and it allows me to keep making more content like this for you guys. Thank you so much, I really do appreciate it. And now back to looking at how Sigmas are going to survive if Doomsday ever comes, with being self-sufficient. Perhaps the most defining trait of a Sigma is his independence. Sigmas are the lone wolves of society, and from the get-go they march to the beat of their own drum. Their stoic nature means that they hate to feel reliant on things outside of their control, and so, throughout their lives, they work hard to foster the conditions for independence and self-reliance. Obviously, this is a trait that becomes particularly important in a Doomsday situation, and the likelihood is that there simply won't be any external help to rely on in the first place. Throughout their lives, Sigmas will hone their self-sufficiency to The point at which, if a Doomsday event did occur, they are way ahead of the pack when it comes to looking after themselves. Knowing how to look after themselves and being comfortable standing on their own 2 feet is a trademark Sigma trait that will make all the difference when it comes to survival in the hypothetical event that a Doomsday scenario does occur. Whereas most people would have to learn to quickly adapt to a life of unpredictability and self-sufficiency, Sigmas are way ahead of the game in this regard. The exact nature of what constitutes a Doomsday scenario is hard to predict. Doomsday could range from anything as likely as a catastrophic nuclear disaster to the more unlikely scenario of a gamma ray burst or a zombie apocalypse. But regardless of the situation, if there is one type of person likely to persevere and survive in such an event, it is the Sigma male. So on a lighter note, what plans do you have in place for a Doomsday event? How do you think you would fare if disaster did strike? Share your thoughts in the comment section down below, and be sure to check out the rest of the channel for more Bloke Box videos on the elusive nature of the Sigma male. That's all for this episode, and I'll catch you next time.